Hello there friends, we just started to get used to the latest CS2 update as a new tournament is already starting and will be played on the new patch. I am Dallas with the new Vertigo, Mollies and Economy, so let's see what the teams have managed to prepare, and also as always news, rumors and all of that. Without further ado, let's get straight to it. As always, we start with the news. After a few years of playing together, finding thousands of fans all over the world and making several esports tales in a row, the lineup of Bad News Eagles fell apart. In case you guys missed it, they were signed by David Beckham's Guild Esports half a year ago. There were literally no results after that, and eventually Sir David gave up on them. Then Regan announced that he was leaving the team, and rumor has it that all of them are going separate ways. This lineup was the longest running on the pro scene, holding on for several years without roster changes. Remember all the hype after beating FaZe and G2 at majors? Now it's all over, unfortunately, so drop your Fs in the comments below. And now more sad news. GAB left BIG after spending more than 7 years in the org. He was a player there and a captain and lately a coach. But the most upsetting thing is how they said goodbye to him. GAB said that they had a goal of making it to the ESL Pro League playoffs, and BIG did it, so he was happy with the result. He went to think up new tactics for I Am Dallas, and then bang, he was just kicked, like by the players themselves. All in all, it was an ugly act from Tapson and the gang, if it's true. Many fans already wish BIG to lose all the remaining tournaments of the season to realize what is happening and on their knees to come to the legend with apologies. Next, OG moved Modo to the main team. He was a stand-in, but now signed a full-fledged contract, so good for him, I guess, because I already forgot that this team exists, to be honest. I mean, they rarely attend huge tournaments, only qualifiers and small cups, so you know. And also, official roster changes in ends. The team parted ways with Diha and Hades, while surprisingly SDY and a young Finn from the academy, Pody, joined. Diha wrote that he wasn't happy in the team and didn't want to play in this lineup anymore, so that's the way it is. Now to interesting rumors. For example, Team Liquid. Recently there were news from HLTV that Cadian can be possibly removed, but more to it, some rumors have emerged that Liquid may remove 3 players at once. Cadian, Yikinder and Twists. I kinda understand why people could want the first 2 out, but I can't imagine a single reason to kick Twists, to be honest. Harumi also added this is a very realistic outcome, to kick Cadian and Marex and take a captain and a usual AWPer. But honestly, it looks as dubious as possible. The guys have just started to play well, they made it to the EPL playoffs, and again, they could be replaced. Now, what about Cloud9? Are they even putting together a new roster or something? Apparently they are, but it's unclear. They've got a sign on their social media accounts saying that it's coming soon. And KRL, who at one time was the first to tell about the reshuffles in Vitality, OG and so on, says that Heavy God may move to Cloud9. He's an Israeli who knows Russian, so he fits pretty well. And also Jonas talks about it, and he also adds Kios to the lineup, so there's the 5th left only. And people talk stuff, from Inters to Cadian, and even Simple. All in all, it looks like made-up stories to me. It's up to everyone to believe such insights, I'm just giving information. I personally don't believe it, but suddenly something will come true. Like, we live in the times when Alexi B joins Navi to win a major, all of a sudden, so anything can happen. Then other sources have joined from Poland, and they say yes, that Cloud9 are negotiating with Chaos. So basically we've got Boomich, Exile, Heavy God and Chaos. Now it's just the Sniper left, but for now Cloud9 just drops from tournaments. For example, from the Yala Compass with a 400k prize pool, they will be replaced by Fnatic. Guys, who do you think will fit in with Cloud9? Write your thoughts in the comments below, because that's complete chaos and I have no idea what will come of it. Next, big news for today is that Mouz have been accused of cheating, and yes, it's not about Mouz, who are the top 1 team in the world and shot Spirit and Vitality 3-0 in the grand finals back to back, but they're academy guys. Crad was reviewing the CCT series replays and saw that their best player, nicknamed PR, looked somewhere down too often. What's he got down there? Is it a raider or something?
It's not plotted for him.
Yeah, this is a weird reposition right now.
Wait, has Alex overcooked this? I think PR's actually positioned himself. Yeah, that's really unfortunate.
Anyways, people started asking questions immediately. You know, it's a huge blow to the reputation of the org and all that. However, this time it seems to be all right. The team's coach made a statement and he said that the guy has just a nervous tick. He has a psychological disorder and he's just really bothered by the caps lock button and it being on. And he's constantly checking whether he pressed this key or not, whether the caps lock is lit and all that. And you know what, bros, judging by the clips, that sounds pretty realistic to me, because if it's a raider hack, it's broken. Like, in the clips, he literally looks down and then makes not some genius moves, but just default plays, and often not even the best ones. And now, my friends, let's move on to I Am Dallas, which is one hell of a ride. There's been a hurricane and a strong wind, sirens and a storm. STEWIE wrote that his toilet bowl was shaking. Norbert couldn't believe it was that bad, so players were pretty scared, to be honest. There were even suspicions that the matches would be postponed because of the weather conditions, but it was fine in the end. Alright, now let's discuss the I Am Dallas itself. Almost all the top teams came here, and even almost in full. Only Daxter didn't make it to Heroic because of visas, and Hooksy, as you know, misses the tournament as well. All the first matches will be played in best of ones. We have two groups, A and B. Each group goes to the playoffs. 2 wins and you're on the stage, 1 loss and you go to the lower bracket to fight for the last slot. And I remind you that this will all happen on the new patch with the new economy and the new vertigo. First, I want to talk about G2 against Falcons, because STEWIE2K seemingly didn't come to captain. This role went to Nico. I remember that's how Mouz fell apart, then FaZe Clan, maybe G2 will start self-destructing now after Nico's captaincy, who knows? m0NESY though was as good as ever here, 27-14. Falcons obviously lost. Then Vitality slammed Monte, which was not particularly interesting. And next up, Complexity versus Team Liquid, the North American Derby, plus Liquid have a big reshuffle coming up if things go bad. So it was pretty important for them not to shit themselves at home, and it wasn't even close. It's probably the first time I've ever seen the new Liquids play so well, even Skulls and Yikinder flying up the tab. And the last best of 1 match in Group A was Mouz versus 9Z. It would seem to be the most boring match possible. What can happen here? But 9Z brought Mouz to their knees and took them out on Nuke. Wowzers. Then it was FaZe versus M80, no surprises here, too easy for Kerrigan. Next was VP versus Heroic, Dexter replaced by Nikodos. And Virtus.pro had a near-perfect defense here, so they won. Nothing interesting in the Navi versus BIG match either, only Simple was reminded once again that he's not needed anymore. Wonderful carries solo, and Ime can shoot aces with the AWP. I guess he just watched some Simple's lessons?
Perfect, but he does get a multi-kill. Emma shuts 3 down and shuts me up because this guy's got a multi in the locker. He might just stop everybody from entering this A bomb site because now Crimbo looks to cross and Emma shows what he's got on the sniper. From a disastrous first half to a clinical second.
Good job. And then Spirit just kicked FlyQuest's bots with 95% of rounds, ending 5-0. The score was 13-1. Next, we're going straight to best of 3s. Monte faced Falcons in the elimination match, and the Sheikh's team played great. And while Monte was trying to do something on Dust, on Nuke it was just horror, so they were the first team to leave I Am Dallas. And STEWIE2K summed it all up. They flew 25 hours to this tournament, but they were eliminated in just 7. And according to LMBT, the coach, this might be the end of the story for this lineup. Next, Mouz met Complexity. First, Brolin and the Bros sweated on the new Vertigo, trying to come back, but still gave the map away in the end. Then they looked pretty good on their Ancient, leading 11-4, but Elige said enough. He single-handedly won rounds in attack and even brought the score to 11-12. It was just absurd, unbelievable. Elige makes 4 frags, almost an ace, but still loses the round. He has an attack rating of 1.86 against Mouz on their pick. But there's nothing they can do. He's just solo there. And eventually Complexity lost the next map and were eliminated from the tournament. Next is a match from the upper bracket, so that is for the place in the playoffs. And here we have G2 against Vitality. Naturally, you can't play with Monsieur Zaivu without a captain, so it was more of a beating than normal CS. It was much more fun to watch Apex rock again.
Nope.
It's not at all.
I think he was fumbling, he found like an AK and swung, but Flames was just too quick.
What you trying, mate?
Yeah.
You're not simple, mate.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Wow.
Мудрые мысли. А остатки вот можешь, не знаю, заходить и, чтобы было интереснее смотреть матч, ставить на...
Yes, and G2 almost got into a fight because Nico didn't have time for the bomb.
Go, yeah. Go, I don't have time. The sound was there. Chill, guys. The sound is... Well, I didn't hear it. Sorry. It was that. Relax, guys. All right. I didn't hear it. I had the bug, all right? I'm just saying. Nice.
13-6, 13-5, just destroyed. STEWIE2K 11 frags. I recognize good old Stewie. But meanwhile, 9Z bit Liquid. Who expected such a performance from the guys? First Mouz, now Liquid, and it was a super close game. All that I can say is that Liquid kinda themselves lost. They led 9-3 on Nuke and somehow miraculously gave away an insane comeback. 9Z went to OTs and won. On Anubis, Liquid led 9-3 again and almost lost everything. Twists woke up in time and sent his team to the decider. This time Liquid didn't lead 9-3, instead they were 7-12, catching up. And so long and difficult was this match that it was as if everyone was already sweating from the amount of CS on the first day, and the spectators, the commentators, and the players themselves.
Oh my god.
Someone turn left. Zoolander duel out here. You can't turn left. The tension I feel in this moment. Somebody turn.
Oh my god, how?
Naf is found to kill elsewhere. What is happening here?
So, yeah. Cadian lost. Next up, Na'Vi versus Team Spirit. Everyone expected a tight battle here, but it was 13-4 again on Ancient for Spirit. And then on their nuke, Na'Vi won the pistols, then finished it off with the Force, and in doing so, they broke CT's economy. And it's not often you see Little Donk tilting in the third round. I mean, they led 4-0 and then it was 5-7. Spirit just calmly took the pistol round and another one and well, you know. Na'Vi took 1 round and the Dragons took 10 in return. Just look at this shootout between Alexibi and Donk. It's pure tilt. Donk, though, is having a blast with these duels. Next, VP versus FaZe. VP decently came back on the first map and won it, but the second was even much more interesting. Inferno, James' favorite, since there's no overpass. Mamma mia, what a defense! Virtus Pro? Well done. Robs had 14-5 in the first half and only made 2 frags in the entire attack. VP took 8 rounds in a row. But you know what, it's FaZe Clan, it's not easy. Somehow, miraculously, they made it to OTs, and if FaZe Clan makes it to OTs, they're just unstoppable. FaZe Clan, FaZe time, and they just wreck VP in the OTs. I mean, we've seen this 100 times before, so the decisive map Ancient. And well friends, it's FaZe time in all its glory again. You've been bored and here they are. On the last decisive round after coming back from 4-8, they just came and shot 5-0.
3-map affair, a long slog. game trying to manufacture something, but Frozen makes it so. FaZe secure themselves a spot in the playoffs here in Dallas.
Well done, old man Kerrigan. Next up, Mouz versus G2, and here I honestly thought this was just a boring match. You know, the Kovac's family with a substitute against the world's top 1. Seriously, what can you expect? And Nico's the captain, not Nexa for some reason. More questions than answers, but what a great match it was. And G2's attack surprised me a lot, and this is with Nico captaining, and it shows very strongly, to be honest. Usually he's the king and god on Inferno, the impenetrable unit of the Kovac's family, but here other candidates came first. 7-5 seemed legitimate and logical, but what happened next was something. Mouz, the top 1 team in the world, champions of the last 2 tournaments, they were not friendly with the attack on Inferno at all. Sershin had 12 frags in the first half and only 1 in the second. Torji had 3 and STEWIE had 3 as well. And STEWIE shoots better than the main core of G2 and the whole Mouz team. He finished top 2 on the server. Crazy. Welcome back, bro. But that was G2's pick, and as Grandpa Blade used to say, if your opponent has roster changes, just pick Nuke. It's the hardest map for rookies and rotations. Mouz listened to him and beat the crap out of G2, 13-5, not even close. But what's more important is what happened on the deciding map, Ancient. Mouz, after this nuke, were just continuing to dominate here. The score was 5-1 and everyone was already mentally burying G2. However, Nico didn't think so. From 1-5 he called a couple of decent rounds, carried a little himself, and in the end G2 got to 6-6. And here's stand 9 already. G2, what are you doing? Nico, you're just a beast, a captain and a carry. But that's all well and good, of course, but Mouz somehow were able to take the 10th round, and they were ready to end the Kovac's fairy tale, leaving them on a weak bye for the decisive round. And it started crazy awful for G2. STEWIE was left alone on B with a farm gun, and he doesn't even have cover. And what does this great genius do? Watch it.
He's missed his shot, he's going to get run down as well. Monacy, nothing. STEWIE, what can you do? It's a double from STEWIE. The 2K. Oh! Making the 3K, baby! He's holding on to the A side, the B side. And a spam from Nico puts it all onto Jimmy. In the absence of Monacy,
you just can't make this shit up. He may not have played well at first, but this round really finished off Mouz, I mean mentally. STEWIE2K, people's hero. That's some goddamn historic crap. Yeah, we're in the group stage of I Am Dallas, not in the finals somewhere. G2 can still get knocked out a million times and will forget about their beautiful game against Mouz. But damn, that's a neat map. With a standing, losing 1-5, then 6-9, they clutch 1-3, then 1-2, then STEWIE goes solo to close everyone on B and finish it all with the Monacy's highlight. Listen, G2, maybe you don't really need HooXi anymore, just leave STEWIE, get a normal captain and you'll be happy. Or take him, for example, instead of Nexa. Anyways, 2-1, G2 sensationally knock out the world's top 1. And shortly, the last matches. Liquid beat Falcons, although after the first map it looked like they couldn't do it, because Sonic's gang won 13-6 on Nuke and Skulls and Ikinur played sadly again. But Cadian decided to pick Ancient, and he didn't miss, because he has Twist on his team, who was just tired of losing to everyone, so he decided to avenge the whole NACS. 36-14, that's just diabolical. He's got 12 multi-kills, more than the whole team combined. And to finish it off, Cadian just turned on the wall hack. Liquid moved to the third map, and finally, in all the glory, Yikinder showed himself, 23-13. He hasn't played like this in years. And the last two matches were super boring. Heroic beat MAT 2-0 and BIG beat FlyQuest. No surprises, nothing interesting to see. And on the last day of group stage, it was total chaos. 6 matches and 4 surprises in them. There's not enough time in this video to cover all of them, but I'll just briefly tell and show you what happened. Let's start with the fact that Heroic slammed Navi 2-0 and they're out, and Alexibi had his worst LAN of his career and the 3rd worst tournament overall. But okay, it's Alexi, we're used to that, while major MVP JL has also played well below expectations. While Ime and Beat, on the other hand, were on top of their game. Well, how can I put it? They were just better than other 3 players. Blade had already said that he's not sure what's next with this lineup. Then BIG outplayed Virtus.pro, but not that it was a shocking result, considering how hard the Bears have been getting matches lately and what kind of form the German org has picked up. And next, by the way, Heroic, who were on the high after the victory over Navi, met with the same BIG and closed them without any problems, 2-0. Interestingly, this is the first time for the renewed Heroic when they managed to go to the playoffs of a huge tournament, and it took them 7 tries. I mean, where are Staven and Yabi now, by the way? Not here. But I'm just joking, obviously. Then, Team Spirit got FaZe Clan out of the way, and they did it beautifully. You may ask why? Well, because Donk played worse than usual, and the team still won. On Nuke, he showed his worst rating in his career on LANs, only a .84 rating. And I Am Dallas is, by the way, his 2nd worst tournament in his career, with a humiliating rating of 1.27. And, well, you know what, guys? Chopper got a special praise here because he outplayed mentally and tactically the legendary Kerrigan, so great job. And for the Swedes, we have 2 dream matches. First, 9Z shockingly defeated Vitality 2-0. And you know what, bros, I can't really say that Zyvo was playing bad, or his team, because Matthew personally was highlighting here and there, while Spinks was always in the high tab, so I don't know honestly what happened. 9Z were just better. They were motivated as hell. The team's captain, Max, said that they were studying Vitality's game and just broke their plans, while Anubis was their worst map of all, but they just took their cojones and put them on the table in front of the French. And I can't really imagine if there will be any replacements in Vitality soon. It's pretty hard to say, because the tournament is still not the most important, and the guys looked pretty relaxed. But you know what? They should have reached the playoffs at least. And at the end, we have Liquid versus G2, and interestingly, it turned out to be just another North American derby. STEWIE was just raging on the server, and even though his smokes weren't that good, he apparently remembered all his successes in Team Liquid, and he just outshoot them, even though he said before the match that there was nothing personal about this one. Yeah, bro, then explain your wild highlights and top rankings. I mean, Naf and Twist had no answer. In fact, their team lost Nuke while leading it 8-2. That's kinda tilting, and then they lost the decider. So it's no playoffs for Team Liquid, and no one knows what will happen with KDN, not even himself. All in all, bros, Dallas is just great and pretty enjoyable. Watch the playoffs tomorrow, and we will continue to delight you with news and digests. So don't forget to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment below. I'm not saying goodbye for a long time. See you soon.